Thanks for joining me. This ride's going to go a little haywire at some point because somebody tried to run me off the road. I'm going to cut the video at that point, and I'm going to open a beer and drink a beer with a couple of my subscribers who took the time to go on PayPal. Good morning, my name is JC and this is Gigaohm News. Gigaohm News is high resistance, low noise news. It is reality brought to you by a patch clamper framed in biology. Good morning, my name is JC and this is Gigaohm News. I'm coming to you live from a university in Pittsburgh where I'm covering the pandemic of 2020. The pandemic of 2020 is rumored to have originated somewhere in China and is thought to be of zoonotic origin, at least if you talk to any of the scientists which are funded by the USAID. These scientists include Peter Daszak, Michael Osterholm, Ralph Barrick, among many others. The other side of this pandemic includes a wide variety of what are at least questionable rollouts of different antiviral drugs and other pharmaceutical products under the auspices of trying to save us from this inevitable pandemic death swarm. Instead, what we have here is a bunch of really bad science. There are remdesivir papers which are terrible. There were Moderna vaccine tests which were rolled out as being extraordinary but actually only included 5 people. And then there is a number of different studies which tried to take down hydrochloroquine as a possible prophylactic cure or a prophylactic treatment for early stages of COVID-19. So we have a lot of disingenuous stuff going on with regard to the biological phenomenon that is the COVID-19 phenomenon. Now, on the other hand, we also have a lot of other shenanigans going around behind the scenes that we really need to keep our eyes on. One of them, which I think is most important to understand, is that there are a number of forces inside and outside of the United States that would like to have the United States have a civil war. Maybe not a complete and all-out race war, but civil unrest is good for a lot of people. And in particular, it's good for people in control. And we need to be very careful that any of the civil unrest that we're now being shown on TV, that we don't take it too deeply to heart, that we don't start thinking that our neighbors fall into this category. The vast majority of the protesters which are out on the street are indeed fighting against the vandalism of property, the destruction of property, the looting of property. These kinds of phenomenon are known to be instigated by outside sources, by several different states, including my own city, Pittsburgh's mayor, has reported that the cars that were burnt, the police cars that were set on fire, were not done by the protesters that were marching with regard to Floyd's death. These were done by provocateurs, and at least one of them was a 20-year-old white man from my own township of Shaler. So what we're talking about here is a very confusing narrative, a very easily manipulated narrative about race war and looting and civil disobedience, civil misbehavior, criminal behavior, which is now being leveraged to further exacerbate the left and right, the red and blue divide in America. And we need to stop dividing ourselves along these lines. We need to come together as communities and as neighbors, as one American people, to get rid of the shenanigans, to use social media against them so that we share the news of good news, that we share the news of what's really happening. If the bricks on the street in Dallas were really not supposed to be there, if the people on motorcycles in Georgia or in Minneapolis were really starting fires, if the looters were really other people with ulterior motives. For example, white supremacists who wanted to instigate police violence against the peaceful protesters, or Antifa protesters, as Bill Barr has so eloquently accused the left of supporting. These are not people. These are not media memes which are designed to bring us together. These are not memes. These are not statements which are designed to decrease or to minimize the division in America. They are designed to exacerbate it. And these social videos, these memes and social viral posts could be stopped, could be mitigated, could be censored, just like they censor the videos of Judy Mikovits, or censor the videos of some of these other people who are coming out against the virus, right or wrong. We could be choosing to censor the police violence and to not show it, or to show it in a more objective manner. We could make the decision to immediately prosecute police instead of waiting 3 or 4 or 5 days and then to file charges which could have been filed on the day. Third-degree manslaughter or something like this. I mean, are we, what sort of... We're dealing with a legal system surrounding the law enforcement of our country, which makes it very difficult for action to take place. Which means that this problem rests solely in the hand of our legislators, the people that work in our government. We can't blame it on the law enforcement. And at the same time, we have to be aware of the fact that within our law enforcement, there is widespread racism. Within our country, there is still widespread racism. We see it all the time. In fact, we saw it on the way to work today. And that's the part that upsets me most about the fact that that didn't record. That here we had a guy threaten me on my bicycle, and I don't think I got it on camera. Maybe the back camera got it. This is going to be a tough slog, but I'm going to try and give you 2 mornings a week. Gigaohm News. The real deal, from a biological perspective, from a biologist's perspective, from a father's perspective. Father of 3, husband of 1, biologist. Gigaohm News. Join me. This is going to be fun. All right, let's do this. Good morning, Pittsburgh and Unrest. This is JC on a bike. My name is JC, and this is Journal Club on a Bike. Journal Club on a Bike is about to have a branching off of a new sort of investigative morning report. It's not going to be necessarily Journal Club on a Bike because, you know, we won't always be covering primary literature papers. And that's what I want the morning report to be more of a synthesis of biology and current events. Biology and, you know, where we are as a human race and where we are going forward. I'm going to try and report as straight up as I can, and I'm going to try and put these reports out under the auspices of a new sort of rubric called Gigaohm Investigations. And what Gigaohm Investigations is going to try to stand for is a high resistance, low noise news source, primarily based around biology. And on my preview ride, I think I tried to give a good introduction as to why I'm going to do it. But I don't know if that preview ride's ever going to make it up on the internet, and this episode might make it out first. Because I think it's really time for this morning report to start. And I've been kind of fooling around with it for a while as a goofy thing, but it's time. And the reason why it's time is because our ignorance of our own biology has been turned against us, has been weaponized against us. And we need to make sure that we're wide awake as we move through the next decade, or our biological reality will be permanently different. Because in a way right now they're kind of rewriting history books. And what they're rewriting specifically is sort of the role that coronavirus plays in our biology, and indeed in the biology of all mammals. And the reason why I think that they're rewriting it is because they see profit possible. That's always, in my mind, where you got to go if you want to figure something out in America anyway. You need to follow the money. And for a long time, they've been looking for a reason and an excuse to enact certain policies and protocols. And you know, this started with 9/11. This started with the Patriot Act, which at some moment should have been repealed, should have been ended, should have been stopped. It wasn't meant to be a permanent change to the boundaries of our civil liberties. It wasn't meant to be a permanent change like that. It was meant to be a temporary change that we enacted in response to this amorphous threat called terrorism. But as you can see, just as the conspiracy theorists back then predicted that the Patriot Act was really the reason why they're hyping this up, and it has nothing to do with the actual threat of terrorism, and then they had to keep pushing it. I bet you guys have already forgotten that right after 9/11 there was an anthrax scare, and that anthrax scare was supposed to be, and even painted as, terrorism at first. And then after painting it as terrorism, then they found out that the anthrax strain that was there was a strain that was from our own labs. And it was a highly enriched strain of anthrax that couldn't exist in nature. And then suddenly the whole story went blank. We've got to have a memory for our history in order to understand our present, and in order to safely navigate our future. What the f***? He did that on purpose. He tried to run me off the road. He came right up behind me and tried to run me off the road. That's what you get in America right now. That's what he's got insurance for. That's what you got insurance for. That's what you said on camera. That's what you said on camera. That's what you got insurance for, to kill me. You see what we're dealing with here? There is a level of callousness right now on the street in America that is palpable, folks. We need to wake up and realize that someone is trying to generate this hatred. There are forces at work trying to tear this country apart, and the people don't even realize it. We're blaming each other for what? When would it ever be acceptable to run me off the road like that? On a street where it says I can use the whole lane, no less. On a street where it's 25 miles an hour and I'm going 28. Where else would he feel okay to do that?
Where? In what other country would he feel okay to drive so close to somebody who's the father of 3? It's not like I was going 5 miles an hour and I was in his way. I'm staying away from doors that are going to open. But he doesn't care. Because his TV has ruined his critical thinking. He really believes that he lives in a world that should get out of his way, that should make room for him. And this callousness is now being turned against us and inflamed along racial lines. Somebody wants a war. Somebody wants a civil war. And I'm scared, man. Bill Barr went on TV and said it was Antifa. Antifa, like leftists. Let me just pause here for a second to break this down for people. You have to understand how easy it would be to take and dress up in black, carry a black umbrella, wear a black whatever, take pictures of people starting fires and call that Antifa. Now the right has a talking point. Then you have the states who are reporting that on Facebook and on other social media platforms, they see activity among white supremacist groups saying that this is their chance to use these protesters as cover and start to get them killed. This isn't bullshit, this is real. So now what do we have? We have a right-wing group of people that believes certain news sources like Bill Barr and the Justice Department, which, you know, of course has no reason to cause any trouble. They just mean it, you know, to bring peace to the United States. That's why he made that statement, that he said that they were leftist people. He made that statement to make sure that we wouldn't fight amongst ourselves, right? In case you can't hear it, that's really thick in sarcasm. They're not making choices that make civil unrest go away. They're not amplifying messages on social media that make civil unrest go away. They're doing the opposite. We have to figure out why. We have to figure out why now.